Yo, what's up, y'all? It's Cohen back here again today with another video. Today, we're doing a Thunder-specific video. I know that a lot of y'all are Thunder fans, as I am, and so I thought it'd be kind of cool if I did this quiz that someone sent me on Twitter. I can't remember their name right now. Shout out to you for sending me this quiz, and it is a list of 6 top stat categories: points, assists, rebounds, steals, blocks, and three-pointers made. And I'm going to try and guess who in Thunder history are the top 10 in each of these stats. I consider myself a pretty big Thunder fan. I would say I'm the biggest Thunder fan I've ever met. I've never met someone who's a bigger fan of the team, at least right now. I didn't start watching basketball till about like the early 2010s, so there might be some that have been longer tenured than me, but I feel like as of right now, I would consider myself like the top Thunder fan that I know, and so I'm pretty confident that I can get all of these, if not almost every single one of these. There might be like one or two obscure players that I just forget about that kind of slip through the cracks, but I'm hopeful to get 100 on this quiz. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you didn't know I'm a Thunder fan, then you definitely are not subscribed to the channel or have never seen a video, so make sure you do that so you can see more content, just general NBA content, not just Thunder stuff. And also, it's the off season. We're kind of in a weird lull in the NBA cycle, so let me know what kind of content you want to see. If you have quizzes, DM them to me on Twitter. My Twitter is always in the description below, or if you have like a video idea for me, just comment in it below. So going to go ahead and get started with the quiz. So it's got a 10-minute timer. Not sure if we'll use all 10 minutes or not, but we've got, as an ad decides to pop up on the side of my screen. So we're starting with points, and for most of these categories, the leader is going to be a guy by the name of Russell Westbrook. You might know him as the greatest Thunder player of all time, and if you don't think so, then you are wrong. That's not an argument we're going to get into right now, but Russell Westbrook at the top of the Thunder leaderboards in points, assists, rebounds, steals, and then right there in blocks and second in three-pointers made. Greatest Thunder player of all time, and it's not really close. Kevin Durant is the second greatest Thunder player of all time, second on points, assists, rebounds, steals, second in blocks as well, and top in three-point percentage. KD was a beast while he was here. Sucks he ended up leaving, but those two are by far and away the top two guys in most of these stats, all of them except blocks. And the guy who's going to lead in blocks is going to be Serge Ibaka, who's also going to be a third in points. They're at the bottom at 10th for steals, 4th for rebounds. Serge was a monster. He didn't really start shooting threes that much until he left Oklahoma City, so he's not going to be up here on the three-pointers made list, but Serge was crazy. People forget how good he was defensively in his prime. He was a monster on that end of the ball, and he was a critical piece to why this team was so... They didn't, of course, win a championship or anything, but so many successful playoff runs. Serge Ibaka was kind of the unsung hero of that. Other guys that are going to be up on this list for points, Steven Adams will be up here, 4th all-time in points, also up there in assists, which is kind of an underrated part of his game when he was in OKC, having some guys that could score the ball around him. Adams had some crazy passes that kind of just came out of nowhere. He had that one pass where he's at the top of the three-point arc, and he just like rifles it like a baseball, because apparently he just has the strength to do that into like the paint for a bucket. It's crazy. If you haven't seen that assist, go look it up. Also, of course, going to be up here for rebounds. Third in steals is pretty impressive for Steven Adams, as well as third in blocks. Shout out to Steven Adams, Thunder legend, miss having him here. Other guys that are going to be up here is Nick Collison will also be up here. He's down here in points, also there in steals, blocks, assists as well. Also up there in rebounds, he was a big man, power forward center. People sleep on Nick Collison. He was a really solid player when he played. Of course, we retired his number, and people were like, oh my god, of course the Thunder retired his number. Like, that's so lame. But you see how much he shows up on these like statistical categories. People don't remember Nick Collison. He meant a lot to this team. He was this team's first like lifer. And it's cool. It's a cool story. I'm glad we ended up retiring his number. They call him Mr. Thunder for a reason. Next up on the points, James Harden will be up here, right under Nick Collison, also there for assists. 4th all-time in three-pointers made. It's kind of crazy because he wasn't here that long. The Thunder haven't had a lot of great shooters in their history. James Harden's also there for steals. Who else is going to show up here on points? Paul George will show up here. Of course, the Russell Westbrook, Paul George era. Also there for assists and steals when he was a Defensive Player of the Year candidate while he was here. And 3rd all-time in three-pointers made. So we've got the top 4 for that now. For assists, Dennis Schroeder is going to be on here. He's not third, but Dennis Schroeder's there. Also there for points. Also there for three-pointers made. Third for assists, probably Reggie Jackson, maybe. Yeah, Reggie Jackson. Just got a bag. Had a crazy good run for the Clippers this past season, so shout out to him. Let's go to some of the three-pointers. So we'll talk about some of the snipers, I guess, that the Thunder have had. Not a lot of great shooters on this team's history, but we've got Anthony Morrow. He was a beast while he was here. Kind of declined towards the end, but when he was shooting lights out. Alex Abrinas is probably going to be on here. Yes, he is. Andre Roberson is going to be on here, not for three-pointers. Not those. He didn't really ever hit those, except in the bubble when he played like a couple games and he was just a sniper for some reason. But of course, it's going to be on here for steals, blocks, and rebounds. The defensive anchor for a lot of those Thunder teams. Eric Maynor was just a name that came to mind, so I'm going to put him down. For blocks, who's going to be up here for blocks? Maybe Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant is going to be on here. He was a role player here for a while, so I'm not surprised. For rebounds, Enes Kanter will probably be up there. Got a lot of boards. Kendrick Perkins will be up there for rebounds as well, and blocks. We've got almost the whole blocks list finished off now. Who else do we have? Let's see. Who else is going to be up there? Oh, Thabo Sefolosha will be up here. People forget he had a crazy... He was here for a long time. That finishes off the assists. He's also up there for rebounds. Steals up there. Blocks at 9th. Also there for threes. He's on every single one of these lists. Wow. Good for Thabo. Who else is on here? This is the part where I'm starting to blank. Who is this? Who am I forgetting? I'm forgetting a Thunder legend, and my whole thing is like Thunder legend, so I can't believe I'm forgetting someone. Let's see, we've done Russ, Durant. It's not going to be Melo. I'll just go through some of the star players. It won't be Melo. It won't be Chris Paul. Those two guys were only here for a single season, despite being Thunder legends and legends in their own right. They're not going to be up here. Three-pointers made. Who are some other shooters from the Thunder? Like I said, we haven't had a lot of great shooters in the history of this team. I'm blanking. Who is this on the points? I'm gonna feel like such an idiot when I finish off and I don't remember who this was. Also for steals, who were some good defenders that I could put here? Other guys that it won't be Victor Oladipo. He was only here for 1 year as well. I'm trying to think of like role players that were here for a while, you know, that had the opportunity to kind of rack up some stats, even if they weren't like fantastic. Just the fact that they were here for a little while and able to like rack. I know who I'm missing. Jeff Green. Jeff Green is the guy that I'm missing for most of these. Jeff Green shows up for steals. He shows up for points. He shows up for rebounds and three-pointers made. Jeff Green, Thunder legend. He was a guy that a lot of people thought, and at first it seemed like he was going to be part of the young core for the Thunder during the early days of the Russ, KD, and Harden era. Of course, the problem was having to pay all those guys. End up trading Jeff Green for Kendrick Perkins and then trading Harden. You know the story. I don't need to tell you that, or maybe I do. Keep an eye out for a YouTube video coming out soon. But overall, Jeff Green was a legend in his time here with the Thunder. Now we're down to 2. Blocks. Who else was here for a while that would block a lot of shots? Taj Gibson comes to mind, but he wasn't here that long. Nerlens Noel is going to be on here. Nerlens Noel is the 10th guy for blocks. Okay, there we go. Now one more person for three-pointers made to get a perfect score on this. So I'm trying to think of some guys that were shooters while they were here. Dion Waiters was only here for like a year, so it won't be him. Even though he shot a lot of threes while he was here. God, this is gonna kill me. I don't know who this is. Three-pointers made. Who was around a while for the Thunder? I might just start throwing names out there. 195 threes. That's a lot of threes to make. So it's got to be multiple seasons. It's not going to be Shea. No, I'm not even going to try Shea. Shea hasn't played enough games. It's not going to be... It's going to be no one on this current Thunder team because no one's been tenured long enough and we don't really have any shooters like that. I'm not sure. I really don't know who this is going to be. Who was tenured for a while? I might just start throwing names out there. We're just going to throw out Fisher. Nope. Okay. We're going to throw out... Like, I can't even think of any names. McDermott, he wasn't here for very long. We'll throw him out. It's not going to be Sabonis, but I'm going to put his name anyways. It's not going to be... It won't be Oladipo. Yeah, he didn't make that many threes. Who is it? It won't... No, definitely not Hami. Diallo didn't shoot that many threes. This is going to bug me if I don't get it. Who shoots threes for this team, or who used to shoot threes for this team? All right, I'm gonna think through drafts. It won't be Baisley, won't be Shea, won't be Dort, right? Yeah, it won't be. I don't think it'll be Terrence Ferguson. Ferguson shot a lot. It might be Terrence Ferguson. I mean, we'll give Terrence Ferguson a try. That was it. Okay, cool. All right, there we go. My face cam might be blocking it now, scrolling a little bit, but this was the Thunder quiz. Managed to get 100% on it, which is cool. I'm shocked it was Terrence Ferguson, but he was just the only person I could think of that shot a lot while he was here. And there was like a stretch of like a season where he was like actually hitting threes, and then he just stopped doing that again. But Ferguson did shoot a lot, and he played a lot of minutes for those Russ teams with like Russ and Paul George. He played a lot of minutes, a lot of backup small forward minutes. So not surprised he's on here just because of his tenure and because it's a young franchise, but shocked in terms of it being Terrence Ferguson, who's never really a three-point shooter. Anyways, this was the top 10 Thunder players of all time in all these different categories. What is this quiz actually called? That was a long way to say it. Can you name the OKC Thunder top 10 stats of all time? So that was this quiz. Shout out to the person that made it, MeGod40. If you want to go check it out, that's where it's at. I appreciate y'all watching. Let me know if you want to see other quizzes. If there are any other quizzes that you do want to see, make sure to DM them to me on Twitter. I wonder if I can find this guy's Twitter real quick. The person that DM'd me this, it was at loatr 95, so at LOATR95. Shout out to him for sending me this quiz. I really appreciate it, and it was a lot of fun to do. It was fun to kind of think back on some of these names, like just random Thunder names that kind of came to mind. Let me know if you enjoyed this type of video. I appreciate y'all watching. I'll see you all later. Real One Save Back.